The bag hit the metal counter harder than it needed to. A dull thud, nylon against steel. "Log it," Officer Grant said. His voice had that casual impatience people developed after too many years behind a badge. Not loud, not angry, just used to being obeyed. Behind the counter, Maria Alvarez didn't look up right away. She finished typing the case number she was already working on, the computer fan humming beneath the desk, fluorescent lights buzzing faintly above her head. Somewhere deeper in the precinct, a phone rang twice and stopped. Only then did she glance at the bag. Black evidence sack, zip tie through the eyelets, tag hanging off the cord. Grant leaned one elbow on the counter, drumming two fingers on the surface like he had somewhere else to be. "Gonna take all night," he said. Maria slid the bag toward her. The evidence room at South Precinct always smelled faintly of bleach and old cardboard. Shelves stacked to the ceiling behind a wire cage held everything from pistols to pill bottles to sealed paper bags full of clothes. A wall-mounted camera blinked its quiet red dot near the ceiling. She read the tag. Case number handwritten. Sloppy. Arresting officer, G. Grant. Arrestee, Darren Cole. Charge, possession with intent. Her fingers paused on the bag for half a second. "Where's the property sheet?" she asked. Grant sighed like the question physically hurt him. "Desk sergeant's got it, I'll bring it down." He didn't move. Maria looked at him. Up close, Grant looked tired in the way cops often did, sunburned nose, eyes that never fully relaxed, faint shadow of stubble under his jaw. His vest rode a little high on his shoulders like he'd gained weight recently. He shrugged. "Look," he said, "just log the narcotics, I'll get you the sheet." Procedure didn't work that way. But procedure also didn't usually come with Officer Grant leaning on your counter staring at you. Maria picked up the bag. It was heavier than she expected. She turned it slowly, feeling the shape inside shift. Plastic container maybe, something hard. Grant watched her hands. "You weigh it yet?" he asked. "No. Probably around 2 ounces. Probably." Maria reached for the scale. Grant's radio crackled. "Unit 12 respond." He slapped the talk button on his shoulder mic. 12. Dispatch rattled something about a disturbance 2 blocks north. Grant straightened. "Gotta roll," he said, "log it." He turned toward the door then stopped. Looked back. "Don't overthink it, Maria." Then he left. The door shut behind him with a hollow metal click. The room felt quieter after that. Maria sat there a moment. She worked evidence for 6 years. Before that, 2 years in records. Before that, retail. Evidence clerks learned fast. The job was quiet, but the room held the truth of everything that happened outside it. Every arrest. Every lie. Every mistake. She cut the zip tie. Inside the bag sat a clear plastic tub. Inside the tub, a smaller bag. White powder. Maria lifted it carefully, placing it on the scale. The numbers blinked. 34 grams. She frowned. 2 ounces would be about 56 grams. She leaned closer. The bag felt wrong in her hand. Not sealed like the department usually did it. No heat seal line, just twisted plastic and tape. Maria turned the bag. And froze. There was another bag inside. Smaller. Nestled into the powder like it had been pushed there. Her stomach tightened. She opened the outer bag. Inside the powder, wrapped in another layer of plastic. A tiny clear packet. White crystals. Different texture. Different color. Maria had seen enough narcotics to recognize it. Meth. 2 separate drugs. 2 separate charges. Neither documented. She looked toward the door. Empty hallway. The camera blinked silently. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then she opened the case file. Arrest report hadn't been uploaded yet. No property sheet. No field test. Just the bag Grant dropped on her counter. Maria sat back in the chair slowly. Outside, somewhere in the precinct, someone laughed. She stared at the evidence. Something about it felt staged. Too neat. Too convenient. Her cursor blinked in the evidence log. She typed the weight. 34 grams. Then she hesitated. Her fingers rested on the keys. 6 years in this room had taught her a few things. Evidence didn't usually arrive incomplete. And when it did, someone usually got angry when you asked questions. She sealed the bag again. Printed a temporary tag. Then she did something she almost never did. She opened the chain of custody history on Officer Grant. Not because she suspected anything. Not exactly. Just curiosity. His name filled the screen. Arrests. Lots of them. Narcotics. Possession. Intent to distribute. Most of them neat. Clean. Efficient. She clicked the most recent one before tonight. Same charge. Same weight range. Same suspect neighborhood. Her throat felt dry. Maria leaned back in the chair. The fluorescent lights hummed. On the shelf behind her sat hundreds of sealed bags, each one a little story frozen in plastic. And for the first time in 6 years, one of them felt wrong. Not illegal. Not yet. Just wrong. 3 nights later, Darren Cole sat in an interview room upstairs with a public defender who looked barely older than him. Maria wasn't supposed to know that. But evidence clerks heard things. The interview rooms were 2 floors up, but voices carried through ventilation shafts when the building quieted down after midnight. Cole's voice cracked through the metal vent behind Maria's desk. "I didn't have that," he said. "You understand they found it in your pocket?" the lawyer asked. "I hid coke, yeah, small bag, personal, but not that." "Not what?" "The meth." Silence. Maria stared at the inventory screen in front of her. Cole continued. "I swear that wasn't mine." The lawyer sighed the way public defenders did when they'd heard every version of innocence. "They tested it," he said. "I know what I had." Maria closed her eyes briefly. Her mind replayed the bag. 2 layers. 2 drugs. No property sheet. Down the hall, someone wheeled a cart past the evidence cage. Metal squeaked on tile. Maria opened the log again. Officer Grant. 32 narcotics arrests in 11 months. Almost all possession with intent. Almost all between 30 and 40 grams. Almost all suspects with prior records. She swallowed. Then she opened the next file. Same thing. Next. Same. The pattern felt quiet. Invisible. But once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. 30 grams. 34. 32. 36. Every arrest just above the felony threshold. Every suspect pleading out. Every bag logged by Maria. Her stomach sank. She scrolled. More. 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 The room suddenly felt smaller. There was a soft knock at the evidence door. Maria jumped slightly. Sergeant Paulson leaned in. "You still here?" he said. Maria nodded. "Just finishing logs." Paulson stepped inside, stretching his back. He was close to retirement, gray mustache, thick shoulders that had softened with age. "You see Grant tonight?" he asked. "Dropped a narcotics bag." Paulson nodded like that explained something. "Guy makes good cases," he said. Maria kept her eyes on the screen. "Seems busy." Paulson chuckled. "Busy's good." He tapped the counter. "Don't stay too late." Then he left. The door closed again. Maria stared at the screen. Grant's arrest numbers glowed back at her. "Busy's good." Unless something was wrong. She leaned forward and pulled up Darren Cole's booking photo. Young. Maybe 23. Bruise under one eye. Eyes tired but alert. Not the hardened dealer the report probably described. Maria exhaled slowly. She could log the bag. Close the file. Forget it. That's what evidence clerks did. They didn't investigate. They cataloged. But the second bag inside the powder kept replaying in her mind. Too neat. Too perfect. Like someone wanted the charge upgraded. Her phone vibrated in her pocket. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. Instead, she answered quietly. Evidence. A man's voice. Calm. Maria Alvarez. Her shoulders tightened. Yes. This is Special Agent Daniel Brooks with the FBI. She stared at the door. Okay. A pause. I need to ask you about Officer Grant. Maria felt something cold settle in her stomach. How did you get this number? She asked. Another pause. Because we've been watching him, Brooks said. Silence filled the evidence room. The fluorescent lights buzzed. Maria's voice came out softer than she expected. For what? Brooks didn't rush the answer. We think he's planting evidence. Maria closed her eyes. For a long moment she said nothing. Then she looked at the bag on the counter. The one she logged 3 nights ago. The one that started to feel wrong. Her fingers rested on the plastic. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. I think you're right.